Alright, hello everyone, it's Team Rocket Dross here with episode 6 on our Pikachu Let's Play. Unfortunately guys, this is not going to be a normal video. I had a few problems doing this episode and the next one. Basically what happened was that typically when I record one of these Let's Plays, I end up recording like at least 2 videos ahead of time, because since I'm already playing, I don't want to just record an episode and then stop playing. I might as well just keep going, you know, because I'm having fun as I'm doing this, guys. So I might as well, you know, I have everything set up, I have my microphone set up, I have everything ready, so it's just a matter of just pressing the record button and then going from there. But unfortunately, I did not notice that the audio was off from the actual file or the actual video till later, because I wasn't gonna edit the video that same day. I was gonna edit it the next day, and then that's when I noticed once I tried to edit the video, there was no audio file, not even the in-game audio. So I was having trouble. I did not know why. I made sure that once there was like no audio, then I was probably like, you know what, it was the file, you know, there's something wrong with the file. So then I went and looked into the actual file, you know, I clicked on it just to play it like with Windows Movie Player, whatever it's called, and it was working fine. The only problem was that there was no microphone. Like, it didn't record my microphone, it didn't pick it up. It was just the in-game audio, which I was glad in a way, because it could have been way worse, guys. Like, once I noticed that there was no audio, I was like, yeah, there's no audio at all. So, like, it got corrupted somehow, and now I'm not gonna be able to put it out because there's no audio, you know. Like, with a game with no audio, it just takes everything away, and in a way there's like no point. So I was glad that the in-game audio got picked up. So once I did that, I spent maybe like 3 hours trying to figure it out. Like, I didn't know how or why it happened. I didn't know if it was my editing program, which that's the first thing that I went into. I went in, got like a bunch of information on YouTube, on Google, and made like so many changes, and it just wasn't working at all. So I kind of gave up on that after like a couple hours. And then what I ended up doing, I got an idea of going into the Windows Movie Maker, I think it's called, and putting it in there just in case the file was able to pick up the audio there. Because something that I noticed was that the actual file type of the file wasn't the regular one that it usually like makes it to my capture card. So I noticed it was a different file. I looked into that, and I noticed that sometimes what the program does is it switches to that after like a certain amount of time, which the video was actually 50 minutes long. But I've done that before, so I didn't know why that happened. I didn't know that was like it should have happened. So then after that, I put it into the Windows Movie Maker player, and it seemed to work. It seemed to pick up the audio and everything. So I was like, you know what, at least I got that made, because I was looking into like converting the file, downloading like different programs, and I'm not comfortable downloading programs I'm not familiar with. If it's just like an unknown program, I don't want to mess with this. So I went into the Movie Maker, and I ended up rendering the video, which took forever, guys, because you guys, like I said before, the video was 50 minutes and there's 2 of them, so I had to do it twice, and each one was around 50 minutes, which it was too much for me. So yeah, so I did it overnight, and after a couple days, and yeah, and then I got them rendered. So now the only thing that I have left is just to do a voiceover, which kind of makes it hard, because when I was doing the actual playing the game, like I was doing the commentary based on how I was playing and what I was doing. And when you're doing a voiceover, it's really hard because you don't know what's gonna happen. Even if you watch through the video and do all that, it's kind of hard because probably you like press the button too quick when you're reading something, you know, so it's just not gonna work overall. So I gotta apologize for this in the next video that is gonna have to be like this. So I'm just gonna make it kind of like a highlight video of something, you know, and hopefully it works over that. So yeah, so on the last episode we ended up making here to, I forgot what the city was called, where the SSN is, which Bill gave to us. So this is where we're gonna be able to go on the ship, or the cruise ship. I think it's an actual cruise ship. So I just went around and I talked to a few of the people around here. I talked to Officer Jenny, and she told me that I needed a certain amount of Pokemon, just like the Charmander that we had earlier in one of the previous episodes. So for sure I'm gonna go get that Squirtle, guys. Like I said, that's my favorite starter, so for sure, no matter what, I'm gonna have a Squirtle in this game. And then I came across this guy right here, which is telling me if I prefer the puppy Pokemon Growlithe or the Scratch Cat Pokemon Meow. So obviously I like Growlithe because it's just a cool Pokemon. Like, who doesn't like a Growlithe? So I chose him. And then before this, actually, and then yeah, he tells me that I need to have 5 of those Pokemon, 5 Growlithes basically. So before this, before I actually started the episode, I went and I caught a bunch of Growlithes because I wanted like a good one, since all of them have different natures and stuff like that. I wanted to get a good one since I knew I was gonna use one from a party right now. So I decided to catch a few. So luckily I had them on me, but since I already caught more than 5, and he didn't like accept that, I knew that I had to put them in my actual party. So that's what I'm doing right here, is basically just putting them in my party and then talking to him, which he then ends up giving me a Persian for some reason. Like, I chose the Growlithe and he gave me the opposite one. So if I would have known that, I would have probably gone the other way and chose the cat just so he could give me an Arcanine, just to check it out, because Persian is not one of those Pokemon that I would normally use in my team or at all. So if I would have known, I would have gone the other way. So if you guys haven't played this game, now you know. So then I come across this guy right here, which has a Farfetch, which is one of those really cool Pokemon that I remember like not knowing much about. He doesn't have an evolution, he doesn't have a pre-evolution, and just seeing that Farfetch really reminded me of the episode on the anime where he actually comes out. So I'm glad that I saw Farfetch. It's just one of those Pokemon that always put a smile on my face, because it's a funny one. It has an onion as a tool, like as a weapon. It uses an onion as a weapon, so it can't be funnier than that. And then I ended up going into this house where it's basically like a Pokemon fan club. You got some pretty cool Pokédolls that you see there, then as well as another Pikachu, which you can't compare, you know, like ours is way better. But look at those paintings, guys, they're amazing. So this is the chairman of the Pokemon fan club, which he says that he's raised over hundreds of Pokemon, which is pretty cool. So he asked me if I want to hear about them, and obviously I put yeah. So my favorite Pokemon's Rapidash is the cutest. It's so cute, lovely, and smart. It's almost too much. Yeah, so you can tell he really liked the Rapidash, because that's the first painting you see up there, and it's just funny because that's when I think back of the games, that's what I remember, is that Rapidash right there, because I remember he had a painting there as well. So, or I don't know if you were able to see the painting, but I remember if you clicked on the painting, it would say that it was the Rapidash on there, just giving you small details. And then he ends up giving us a Pikachu set, guys, and that we could wear. And it's actually, I don't remember if it was for us or for Pikachu, so we're gonna find out right now. And then that's where I find out that it was actually for us. So we got the Pikachu top, and then we got the sports top. Unfortunately, he doesn't have his own set. But it kind of makes sense. I could just take off the clothing that he's wearing now, and we're gonna be matching. So I got an idea why they didn't give Pikachu one. So it just makes sense. So obviously I choose it, guys, because come on, you know that Pikachu is pretty cool. It's probably the one I'll be wearing until I find the Team Rocket one. Because once I find the Team Rocket suit, I'm keeping that. Because come on, we're Team Rocket. Another thing that I spotted was this Magikarp over here. So some Pokemon don't just want to walk with you, some would rather give the trainer a ride. I bet it would be pretty great to take a ride with the Pokemon that could swim across the water or fly through the air. Exactly. So I think right now we do have a Pokemon that we could ride, which is actually that Persian. The guy that gave it to us actually mentioned that having a Pokemon that we could ride, and then he said that's one of them. So I didn't take him out so I could ride him, because I don't want to do that yet. I kind of want to get my own Pokemon. Persian, like I said before, Persian is not one of those Pokemon that I would normally use. So even though he's the first one we could ride, I don't want him right now. So as I'm exploring the town, I come across this guy. So it says, yo, champ, beyond this point is a Vermilion gym, but you'll need to use chop as a move in order to take it down. So right now I don't know any moves. It's something new in this game because normally it would have been cut and it was a Pokemon move, but I ended up figuring out that it's not a Pokemon move. It's actually a move that the player ends up doing. So it's pretty cool that they kind of changed things up a little bit. And yeah, so there's a notice posted: a sleeping Pokemon has been blocking the way on Route 12 lately. Detour through the cave right here, which is right next to us right now, which is actually the Diglett cave. It's just one of those things that I always remembered. So we're not gonna go into the Diglett cave right now. I just want to explore a little bit and see what's going on. But before we go a little bit further, I kind of want to go down here into the actual boat, because I want to make this episode that long. So we end up coming over here and we come across a sailor. So the SSN is a famous luxury cruise ship that visits Vermilion Port just once a year. So that's pretty cool. It's just one of those like the Titanic kind of cruises, but hopefully this one doesn't sink. Welcome to the SSN. Not too fast. Do you have a ticket, young fellow? Which we do, which is the one, like I said before, that Bill gave us. And then yep, that'll do. Welcome aboard the SSN. Oh, and that's not all. So you're the 100 guests. You're joining us aboard, so here you go. And he ends up giving us the sailor costume, which obviously I'm gonna put on. I'm gonna put it on my Pikachu and I'm gonna put it on myself just so we can go with the episode. I probably still have it on the next episode. I don't remember if I changed back. But the whole reason I'm wearing this is just for the actual episode. Since we're going on board, guys, we need to be dressed to fit. I put on my shorts, I put on my pants, I go and I put on Pikachu's costume, or not costume, but dress. No, it's not even a dress. Come on, bro. His outfit. We're gonna call it an outfit. I think that's a better word for it. So we choose the outfits, and look at that, guys. We're looking pretty snappy. I'm not gonna keep it, but just for this episode, it seems to be pretty cool. So we keep going, guys, and then it gives us this really like cool angle of the actual ship, and it just makes you realize how big it actually is. So coming in, something that I forgot was that we actually meet, I forgot if it was Gary or Blue. It is Gary. So hey, there you are. And then thanks again for the ticket. This ship is huge and it's full of trainers. Oh, and then that's Blue. So that's why I'm like, I remember I met one of them. Bonjour, if it isn't TRD and Gary. Didn't I think seeing the two of you here. Hey Blue, are you taking a cruise? Not Harley. I got invited to the exclusive party for trainers, but I'm pretty much done with the scene. I got plenty of party favorites too. Here, I can share one with you. So I kind of forgot what he gives us. A Shalor Sable. Shalor Sable. I'm not sure what that is. So more importantly though, you want to know what I overheard at the party. You guys know about Team Rocket, right? And then yeah, they're bad guys and I battled them before. So we're gonna go with a battle with them before. Seriously, you must be fearless or something, kid. Anyway, the point is this: Team Rocket is a dangerous group and they're trying to use Pokemon to make themselves rich. I might do some digging into what they're really after, which is just trying to take over the Pokemon and everybody's Pokemon. That's basically what they're all about, guys. Not us. We're trying to draw every single Pokemon. Maybe we are trying to catch them now that I think about it, but that's just in the game right now. So then this guy right here just tells us that basically there's trainers on board who might want to battle us. So then there's so many rooms, guys. I kind of got bored after a while. They shouldn't have made so many rooms. There's just a ton, because there's different like layers to the ship, and in my opinion there's too many. So I go one by one, just checking them all out, and I find some. For example, we find a Wigglytuff right here on top of the bed. A World Cruise is so elegant and nice. Basically they just talk about the ship and just random information that they give us, and nothing important. Some of them actually have some items on their rooms, like Pokeballs and stuff like that. So I do end up finding those, and then some of them just want to fight. For example, this chick right here. In order for me to actually get that Pokeball, I have to come across and actually battle her, which for the most part they were all using like water type Pokemon, which is fairly easy having a Pikachu as my partner. So we started the first battle by battling Beauty Nikki, I think her name is, and yeah, she takes out a Pidgey, and I think she has two. Yeah, she does have two Pokemon, but Pidgey is really easy to take out. So we end up taking her out, and then her little brother, and then we end up getting the Pokeball, which I can't remember what it was, guys, but we just go across and battle a bunch of trainers and just get a little bit more like random information, and then that's basically it. And something that I forgot, guys, we end up battling this other Pikachu that she has, but look at his tail. Look at Pikachu's tail. There's like it ends like kind of like in a like a heart shape, the top of a heart. And look at our Pikachu, it's just like a regular tail. So I thought that was really interesting. And after battling this Pikachu, from there on, I started looking at every single Pikachu's tail, just in case we did come across another one that had a unique tail as that one does. So that's pretty cool that that's something they added into the game. It's just a small detail, but it just like puts a smile into your face every time. So I'm glad they do so many of these things to this game, because it just kind of, it's like almost a brand new game into an old game, which is pretty cool, I gotta admit. If you guys don't remember from like the anime show, this is actually one of the episodes where for some reason Ash and Brock and Misty end up going into this cruise ship where there's like a bunch of fancy Pokemon, and it's the first time I think he ever trades a Pokemon. I remember that he traded his Butterfree over Eradicate, and in the end basically the whole show was about him kind of like regretting that. And then all of a sudden Team Rocket just takes over and starts using this like a vacuum that like starts like swooping in all the Pokemon that are there, because there's people on the ship battling. It's all about Pokemon, and it's just like a bunch of really cool Pokemon, fancy Pokemon. It's a bunch of rich people, guys, so you can imagine the kind of Pokemon a rich person would have. And when all of that happens, for some reason I can't remember exactly why, and then all of a sudden the boat starts sinking, guys. And then everybody's trying to like struggle, you know, trying to make it out, get onto those live boats and stuff like that. But Ash is trying to get his Butterfree back because he completely regrets it. He ends up finding the guy, and then in the middle of all the chaos, they end up trading their Pokemon back. And I'm surprised the guy even traded his Raticate for the Butterfree again, because most of the time you're gonna be like, you know what, kid, you traded already, beat it. And plus, like, there's complete chaos. The ship is about to sink, so the last thing you want to do is trade your Pokemon, right? But at the same time, you don't know what's gonna happen after that. And Ash really wanted the Pokemon, and I guess the old man really saw how bad he really wanted it to back. So he ends up trading it back. But the bad thing is that since he was more worried about getting that Butterfree, that he ends up being too late to get away, and the boat ends up sinking along with Team Rocket. And when I mean Team Rocket, I'm talking about Jesse and Meowth and James. So yeah, then that's kind of like the end of the first episode. And then on the second one, they basically are down there, we're stuck with Team Rocket. So all of that happens, and then they're all stuck down there. So they're trying to get away because there's still air pockets down there, guys. And then they take out their water Pokemon, like Misty. I forgot which Pokemon she has. I know she had a Goldeen at that time and Staryu. So I think she uses those Pokemon. And then I forgot it. Ash had a Squirtle, or he had a water type. I don't remember if he had the Squirtle already. He ends up taking him out, or somebody, I forgot who it was, and they end up like going out into the water and having the Pokemon take them to the top, because they're like all the way at the bottom, guys, where the ocean floor is. So you guys could just imagine how deep it actually is, being out in the open sea, like in the middle of the sea, guys. So when that happens, somehow Team Rocket makes it out alive too. They end up in this floating piece of wood, and then James ends up getting so mad that he ends up kicking the Magikarp, which he thinks is like useless, is the worst Pokemon ever. He realizes how bad the decision was to buy that Pokemon. So then he ends up kicking Magikarp, like literally just kicking as hard as he can. He literally takes like everything out on that Magikarp. He kicks it, the Magikarp, like, he sends Magikarp flying. And I haven't seen the episode in so long, guys. I'm just saying what I remember happened. So I'm probably off in some of the details, but it's just the basics. So he ends up kicking that Magikarp really far away, and then all of a sudden there's like a storm coming up, and then a Gyarados pops up, and it's basically that Magikarp that evolved into the Gyarados. and obviously Magikarp is pissed off, or Gyarados now. He's like so pissed off. He does the move Rage, which the way that they portray it is like one of the most strongest like water type moves or something like that, or Twister. I think it was Twister, the one that he used. And then they start talking how Gyarados is so crazy, he's like a really strong Pokemon, this and that. And then somehow like a bunch of other Gyarados start coming out, and then they just start surrounding Team Rocket. And I remember it's just like, I think it was like Twister or something, just sends them flying into the air, guys, which was pretty cool. After that, the Gyarados ends up like just swimming away, and then everything clears out, and it's just a really cool episode. Like, I'm glad they did that, the way they brought that Magikarp evolving into that Gyarados. I think it was a really cool and original way to do it, because they could have gone the easy way and kind of be like, oh, he probably saved James and then he ended up evolving after he saved them. But no, like, you kick him, he evolves, and he gets payback. So that's basically what it was, which is pretty cool. I really enjoyed that episode. And yeah, so then we come across this guy over here, this miner, which I'm surprised, like, what's this? He's not a miner. What is he? He's an engineer. Like, oh, I mean, it makes sense, right? He's in a boat. Now that I'm thinking about it, when I was playing this, it just didn't make sense to me. Why was there an engineer in a boat? But now that I'm looking at it and I go back, I'm like, you kind of need engineers in a boat just in case something goes wrong, and to do any repairs, and just to work the boat overall. So I kind of take that back. He ends up having a couple of these Magnemites, which seem to be a little bit harder to fight. Like, I always have trouble fighting Magnemites, Magnetons, for the same reason that unless you have a fire type Pokemon or a fighting Pokemon, it's really hard to take them out, because they're really hardy. They have a strong defense, and then them being an electric Pokemon, they can paralyze you, and they're pretty strong, I gotta admit. So I'm glad I have Double Kick, because it's a fighting move which is super effective against metal type Pokemon. So that's pretty cool, guys, like that they introduced different Pokemon other than just water type Pokemon on the boat. So we do end up with a couple Pokeballs, but it's just stuff that, like, we're not even gonna use. For example, that Full Heal, probably I will use it, but it's more likely like I'm not. And then we come across this guy over here that gives us a really interesting question that at the same time I want to ask you guys. The question that he actually asked is, which one would you prefer, a rare or a really strong Pokemon? And so let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Which one would you choose? Personally, I would probably choose a rare Pokemon, because you could always train that rare Pokemon into a strong Pokemon. A strong Pokemon could be any Pokemon, as long as you give it that attention and take that time to teach everything. It's gonna be a strong Pokemon. So rare Pokemon don't come across that often. Another thing was this, that we ended up learning or teaching our Pikachu Slam, which the way he does it is just incredible, guys. He literally runs into the guy and just slams him. So that's another really cool move that he has. So we ended up fighting this Sandshrew, who actually gets full restored by the trainer. So he's already hard enough to battle, and then he goes ahead and uses a full restore, which is basically battling the same Pokemon twice. Which I wasn't expected. Usually, like, people who start using full restores are a little bit towards the end of the actual, like, gameplay, or towards the middle, not at the beginning. I still consider this the beginning, because so far we'd only battled 2 of the gyms, so I still consider this early game. So I'm surprised that he had full restore. The captain said he's awfully sick. He was looking all pale too. So this is where they start telling us that he's basically not feeling well. I hear it's really quite common, people getting seasick, that is. And that's kind of another question that I want to ask you guys. How many of you guys have been on a boat? I've been on plenty times, and I don't think I've ever been seasick. So we do come across Gary, which I forgot we did, where we actually end up fighting him. So he can teach you this cool secret technique if you ask him. So he just tells me that he taught him the actual move, and then he wants to battle us, and for us to go and ask if we could get that same move. So we do end up battling him, but once again, he's no match against us, guys. Right now in this game, like, he's not much of a challenge, but in the older games, yeah, he was a little bit of a challenge, because every time you would battle him, he was like a few levels higher than the previous time, like up to like maybe 5 or more levels. So he was always a challenge trying to fight him in the older type things. So we ended up beating Gary, guys. He wasn't much of a match, like I said, in this game. He's fairly easy. So, oh, nothing. Anyway, go meet Captain, have him show you the secret move, which we do go up here. And he's basically right there next to that garbage can throwing up. So I explore a little bit. It's a pretty cool room. So, Captain, I feel terrible. The sickness has done me in. You rub the captain's back. There, old fellow. Captain, will you? Thank you. I'm feeling much better now. So what did you want from me? Oh, you want to learn my secret move? Of course, I'd be happy to teach it. Come along with me. Pika Pika. Captain, this Pikachu looks more ready to learn my secret technique, but I'm afraid it's only for humans. So that Pikachu's like, you know what, whatever. So what's this? You really want me to try to learn it no matter what? Or you want to learn it no matter what? Well, color me surprised. I've traveled all over this wide world, and this is the first time I had a Pokemon want to learn my secret technique. But with the spirit like that, well, then who am I to say no? So he does end up teaching Pikachu, I guess, the secret move. Come with me, little friend. And that's kind of mean, guys. He's gonna take it out on that plant that he has in his room. So then when Rocky learns secret technique, chop down. So I didn't know that. So I guess Pikachu does learn it, but it doesn't take away one of his moves. It's just one of those things that he knows, but it doesn't take up a slot. Now I guess it's about time. This may be goodbye for now until next time we return to Vermilion City. So he's gonna take off, guys, and come back in a year or so. I wonder the people that got in right now to go on the actual cruise ship, like when they're gonna come back. I wonder if they know that they're not gonna get back till a year from now. Which is a little bit interesting. Remember, there's also another area where we could get on top of the boat and go into like the dock is what I think it's called. And there's a few people that you could actually battle, but at this time I don't think there's anybody to battle. But our Rocket seems to kind of enjoy that scene and just where we at. So he seems to go up there into that ocean just to see how it kind of looks like. And then it just brings us to this angle right here of the boat that we saw earlier. And just look at that, guys. How beautiful is that? Like, I'm glad they added that. So P, you guys over the wide open sea together with Rocket. And Rocket seems really happy. It's just really cute, guys, that they added something like that to the game. It just kind of like brings you in. It lures you a little bit more into it. And then I just go around talking to some of the people, but they don't really like fight or nothing. It's just kind of like people giving us a little bit more information, but that's basically gonna be it for this shit. Alright, guys, so I think that's gonna be it for this episode. Like I said before ahead of time, I want to apologize for the next one. It's gonna be similar to this one, and there's nothing I can do, guys, other than just making sure that on the next few videos I make sure that it's actually working. So I just want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and to subscribe for more videos, and I guess I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Team Rocket Draws out.